Welcome to Learn to Wargame, the audio podcast. This is episode 6, ? I am Brandon, or PG Mutilus on the forums, and I'm playing Kador at Daikon.
I'm Max. I lurk on the forums, and I play Cryx and other things. Not going to Daikon, going on vacation.
I am Andrew. I go by Garthakian on the forums. I play Circle and dabble in a couple other factions, and I will be mowing my lawn instead of going to Daikon. And I have a 5-inch long beard. I measured.
I'm glad you shared that now and not before. Okay, today's goal is we are going to make a list pair to go with Lich 2. Very exciting. Gonna break new ground here. So as usual in the list pairing, we're going to go around the table, share the list that we've made, why we think they're good, and then we'll collaborate at the end and try and make a super list that actually works.
Uber list.
Alright, so I will go first. I have built a Lich 3, the Hellbringer. Today in my list, I have Vociferon, Cankerworm, Night Wretch, Styxis Raider Captain, Styxis Blood Witches, full with UA, Blood Hag, full Styxis Raiders with the Sea Witch, minimum Bane Thralls with the Officer and Standard, max Nis Hunters, 2 Surgeon with Stitch Thralls, and a min unit of Mechana Thralls. I like this list because it tends to deliver pretty well, I think. Styxis with Ashen Veil is obviously good. Once they get whittled down, you switch it over to the Nis Hunters, and Nis Hunters get pretty annoying. And you can also Sighting Touch the Nis Hunters because PAL 11 Weapon Masters isn't terrible. That's pretty much the obvious points in my list. Max, what did you bring today?
Well, I went with the caster everybody hates to play against. Probably more than Lich 2.
Agreed.
Prime Denegra, or War Witch Denegra. Cryx, epic, non-epic. Warcaster.
Well done, sir.
Everyone is now
With the
thoroughly
Scarlock
confused.
Thrall, 2 Night Wretches, a War Witch Siren, 2 Pistol Wraiths, gunshots, Master Gunner Dougal McNeil, Selena Rayfall and the Nis Hunters, Gregor Boomhowler and Company, the Styxis Blood Hag and her merry band of bitches.
How many?
6.
Okay.
Oh.
2 Min Mechana Thrall units and 2 Necrosurgeon Stitch Thrall units to bring up the recursion.
Alright, sounds good. Any tricks in there that you think other people might not have noticed? It's pretty obvious.
No, it's pretty freaking
It's
obvious.
a gun line. Withering is
You
broken.
shoot as much as you can, and then they don't have enough to finish off the Mechana Thralls.
I've been told I should not play my list because they're bad against that. Alright, Andrew, what do you think?
What do I think, or
What do you think?
I think
You want to play against that?
no, I don't.
All right,
I
sounds
don't.
good.
I don't want to play against Cryx usually at all. But
Okay, what did you bring today?
all right. So for my list, I have Scar 2, Queen of the Broken Coast, with a Scarlock Thrall, a Death Jack, a Death Ripper, and a Kraken in her battle group. And then there's a Ragman, 2 Pistol Wraiths, and Blood Gorgers with Slaughterborn.
Okay.
So the idea here is that I think Scar can help deliver to wherever you need to deliver stuff to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I typically had mostly Haley 1 in mind because Lich 2 does pretty well against most other stuff. But even against Signar in general, Gunline, Scar is going to make it. I mean, she can't do anything to keep the Kraken from getting shot at, but
Yeah, you can't affect huge bases. Haley 1 will probably have a storm wall, maybe. If the player thinks they can run it, they'll put it in the list. If she doesn't have a storm wall, it actually gets pretty hard for her, I think, to actually break through that.
yeah.
But some playtesting would be interesting. All right, so those are our 3 lists. Anyone want to argue points for their list? No?
Yeah, I'm good.
Max, what are you thinking? Do you think your Pete Any list is probably the best we're going to get? Or
I think, personally, for 2 lists, and now everybody's talking more about 3 lists these days, but for 2 list format, it doesn't get much better than Prime Denegra with Epic Lich. Because she plays Scenario well, she plays Attrition well, she assassinates really well.
Yeah, there's no doubt she's an amazing caster.
Right.
Do you think that it works very well against Signar, which is probably one of your worst matchups with Lich?
I don't even know that.
Not particularly all Signar. I mean, he's obviously got game against
He's got
most
game
of it.
against everything except for Prime Haley. And you can almost just play to dodge in Signar. Because Prime Haley has so many bad matchups as well. She does nothing to a brick.
All right, why don't you go ahead and run through your Lich 2 list real quick?
Epic Lich is pretty much standard. I'm sure you've heard it before. Lich Lord, Asphyxious, Cankerworm, Night Wretch, Helldiver. Helldiver's too good. It puts the assassination back on the table. It just takes till turn 3 or 4. Warwitch Siren, that could be played with. Gorman, Saxon, Bane Knights, Bane Thralls, Minimum Blood Witches, with the Hag, and Bile Thralls.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when we made our individual lists, we were obviously keeping those character restrictions in mind of Gorman, Saxon, Tartarus, and Cankerworm. I was trying to argue to get Cankerworm into Lich 3, but...
Which would be fine.
Yeah.
If you're going to play double Lich.
If you're going to take Lich 3, I think he's probably better off, because Lich likes to play the more constant grind game Lich 3 does, and then Lich 2 is more of a general purpose guy, I think.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
What do I think as far as what?
Sorry. Do you think there's room for argument amongst this, or do you think it's just too obvious for the list pair?
There's definitely room for argument, because there's a lot of different skews you can do. There's different... I mean, nobody even picked Gorshade 3, and I think he's an excellent caster. He changes the way people have to play against Cryx. You can't hide from him very well, and you can't really stop his most people cannot stop his assassination attempt. Whether or not it works or not, it's a different story.
Oh, side note, I was trying to make a Gorshade 3 list, and I fail horribly at making Cryx lists, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different casters you can think about playing. Like, if you weren't... It all comes down to what you want to play with your first list. I personally think that Lich 2 is too strong still to not play.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think Denegra 1 is the most powerful caster at Cryx at the moment, and she very well might be. I still like the game that Lich 2 plays. If you weren't playing Lich 2, it opens up a lot of things, because the biggest character restriction is probably Banelord, because Banelord puts other casters on the table. Because I think with Banelord, it opens up people like Gorshade 2, honestly, because it gives you the ability to get Mat 8, and then you can start attritioning with the amount of dudes you're creating.
Mm-hmm. That character restriction.
I mean, there is the option of play Lich 2 against everything except for things that can't crack armor and play Terminus, and I don't know, there's
How about
good
this?
thoughts for anything. It just, I don't know. In Cryx, if you're already playing Lich 1, I feel like Denegra 1 just fixes every problem.
Right.
Actually, not even... She has some problem matchups, but not that... She's just she asks as many questions, I guess you might say.
Right. So instead of looking at it of more of a numbers game where it's trying to say which two casters cover the best, which casters do you think are going to be the most fun and enjoyable for you and fit playstyle? I mean, I know literally the first model you bought pretty much was Lich 2, right?
Yes.
As a lot of people who start him, they love the model. What caster, if you're set on playing him as your first list, which is why we're sitting down right now, and it doesn't even have to be one of these three, which caster in Cryx seems like the most fun for you to play that we could meld into what it needs to be?
The most fun is, honestly, I haven't played her enough, but probably Morton Abra. But
just because she's so different. She's
different, and things come from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Second from there, probably Gorshade 3. But I don't know. It also some of those people, I don't know, having the Inflictor out would be helpful too.
I mean,
you can theory craft with him.
Anything.
I don't like playing with him right now because I don't have the model. That just bothers me.
It bothers me too. I tried proxying a Grolar with a Juggernaut. It was just bad. So I was like, all right, so my Juggernaut's gonna. Damn it!
But he doesn't have a gun.
I know.
At least Destroyer. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You could have cut that axe off and green stuff to Mason.
Yeah, just put two big globs of green stuff on either side of the axe blade. So you think Gorshade 3 looks the most fun and still helps cover your matchups? Because
I mean, the only way I've tried him right now is playing him with infantry and playing with, min-max unit of Black Banes for assassination, but I feel like when I play him that way, I'm too focused on waiting until I see an assassination that looks good enough to go for it, and I don't know if that's the way you should be playing him. Probably not. I probably need to keep playing him more, obviously, but
I've been playing my Karchev list lately and intentionally focusing on not just going for assassinations and forcing myself to play through the matchup.
Right, because I should be. I feel like I should be hiding more often and playing the Mockery of Life game. Because that's his other shtick. That's all he's going to do. He's either going to kill you with the Siphon Bolt, pretty much, or he's going to recursion his army to win the game.
So you want to go ahead and try building a Gorshade 3 list and see where we go with it, and then see if you like it or not?
Sure.
Alright. Okay, Gorshade 3, the Lord of Ruin. Well, is it pretty automatic to take Scarlock with this guy? I think so. What are you thinking for a battle group? I know a lot of people like Death Jack with him because he's another Siphon Bolt, effectively.
Yeah, but he has 12 points. I don't know. I've been playing him with a single arc node and dudes. But
I know some people have been talking about Kraken with him.
some people talk about Kraken. It's not awful,
Mm-hmm.
because Infernal Machine's good on the Kraken. And it does help with the assassination, because you can usually get a line to shoot all those guns at it. I mean, it's either that or I do like, and I need to test this more, I've only played it like twice, play Achios with the Leviathan. It's not bad because he's got a 21-inch threat range with the escort up and shooting all 3 shots. So they're POW 13s, and he's guaranteed to have all 3 of them, whereas the Kraken can run into only having 3 shots. I mean, but one's bigger and better. And he's harder to remove, kind of.
Just browsing through the heavies here. I always want to take Inflictors now. I think they're so good.
I think Inflictors might be good with him.
It gives them a little bit extra survivability if you plan on spending a stack a lot.
I think you might want one later just because you can leave it in the back till later. And he can still Scything Touch it to make it kind of hit hard.
Or Infernal it, basically. I mean, that puts him up to the point
puts
to
him at 9,
yeah.
But he still only kills as much focus as he has. I mean,
right.
He doesn't have...
Also, it helps protect like your last Bane Rider, things like that.
Things like that. The one thing I'd be worried about is since, he's only defense 14, is
Eris.
sitting in the back for the Eris shot. Or Gorman, because...
I don't think he actually stops Black Oil. I don't think you can shield guard it, because the template doesn't move and it says models under the template are blinded. It's not models
You can.
hit.
If it directly hits, you can absolutely shield guard that. If it doesn't, if you're smart and you Black Oil something next to him, you cannot shield guard the blast.
Right. I might be wrong on that. I thought they changed that at some point, but I was probably just lied to by Ryan. I should probably not believe anything he says.
That sounds about right.
So, is there anything that's an automatic take with him that we need to just go ahead and put in?
Scarlock.
Scarlock then.
Yeah.
Almost every caster deserves the Blade Hag treatment.
They're just so good. And with him, a speed 7 unit's never bad.
Yeah.
So I think we take Max for that just so anyone left over can do the feat. Do you agree?
You can. I mean, that's something you can always shave later.
True.
It all depends how you want to play him. I just feel like the more jacks you add, the more he's playing towards assassination.
Do you feel...
Unless maybe it's the Kraken, because the Kraken can hold his own.
Right. I think the Kraken changes game plan a lot.
I've always been playing with Bane Riders, because that's what he came out with. I don't know that they're required.
I think
they
are by far
good.
the best Mockery of Life target.
They are.
And they're also another late game closer. I played against a player from the Des Moines group when we went to there for a tournament, but I actually liked his list a lot. Unfortunately, it had Tartarus in it, so we can't copy too much from it. But it was he had the full riders, the Blood Witches, the Bane Knights, Tartarus, 2 of the Bone Jacks, some other solos, I believe. It was actually surprised me a lot, and he would have killed me if he had rolled slightly higher. He left Butcher on like 2 hit points and missed twice.
Well, wait. You won with Butcher 2 tier list?
I did,
Wow.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Epic.
Well, I mean, I got lucky, so.
No, but they are the best Mockery of Life target, so if you're playing for that, I feel like that's why they're included. And I don't think you can min them out, because then I think don't do enough work if you're leaving one back.
The Bane Riders, it's too risky to lose the whole unit.
Or if you lose, well, you can leave one back, and then it's not that risky. But then you're running the risk of those 2 models you're sitting in not doing anything.
Yeah. I will say that the Bane Riders definitely surprised me on their threat range. I was not expecting them to come from that far away. Because what is their threat range? If the leader charges in from way out in front...
And then curses. It's 15 inches.
It's a 15-inch threat? Because they're 7, 10...
14?
14-inch threat, I think.
9, 12, 14, yep.
But the Ghostly does make impact attacks interesting. Because you can get to really weird spots with them against... Because I'm playing Doomreaver spans, so I was like, I'll just put these guys... I always forget about Ghostly, and it pisses me off every time. Like, wish my guys could just walk through dudes. Or free strike zones. But yeah, so anyway. The Bane Knights traded up more than I thought they would have.
Yeah, so I like Bane Riders in there. I prefer Bane Knights in that list, I think.
I think if we're not taking Tartarus, I don't think you should take the other Bane units.
I don't think they're necessarily needed,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I haven't tried things like I don't think Styxes are probably a good play. Raiders.
They can get freaking deep with the feet with desperate pace running for the feet.
They can. They can't take free strikes.
True, but sometimes you don't need to be immune to free strikes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But that's why you can take Ghost Raiders. They're also speed 7. They just don't have advanced deploy.
Yeah. So right now we're looking at max witches with UA and max Bane Riders. If we take a Kraken, because I know we were talking about taking a Kraken, or even at this point, Bane Riders on a Scything Touch caster with another heavy, which doesn't hit super hard. He's POW 16s, go up to POW 18 with Scything Touch.
What heavy?
Then I put the Inflictor in because we were talking about it.
Oh.
So we could like drop him and pick up the Kraken or something. But as long as there's one heavy in here, be it Deathjack, be it Inflictor, be it Kraken, I think that combined with the Bane Riders is probably enough for armor, considering your other list is Lich. Which I think is part of the reason he's so great, is because those riders can do work over turns because of the mockery.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should probably go ahead and move on to other things. Do you think you need an incorporeal unit to run through his army?
No, you can get by it with... I think you should always at least have one or two machine wraiths if you're not going to play the unit.
Right.
Which is fine, but I think it should be on the table, and probably in the 2-point variety, because so you can threaten different angles. So if I put my machine wraith on the left, he can't just go to the right because I have another machine wraith over there.
Yeah, just do the flanking.
Yeah,
Almost
because they're still speed 7
Mm-hmm.
incorporeal models. I think that's the way to go. If you don't want to play a whole bunch of, like, the Blackbanes I think are still good because there's so many situations where even if they have the ability to kind of deal with them, that just stealthing them just puts it over the edge anyways.
The only problem I have with that is that gun mages still want to rape them.
They do.
I just don't know if there's anything you can do about that.
You can't. You run away from them.
Mm-hmm. I guess you could, if we took a Kraken, they'll never let you get that close to it. Saying about running up to try and engage them and scare them. You could run an Arc Node in with Infernal Machine on it. Just hope they break. And then hope that Rupert's not right behind them.
So, I'm going to add things on. Scarlock, you have an Inflictor.
I think either Inflictor or Deathjack or Kraken. Either of those three, I think,
I think
are nice takes.
I
personally, he requires a Night Wretch. That's my favorite 4-point.
I do like the
Arc
Night
Node.
Wretch, too, the more I see you play it. Not that it's uncommon to see, but is there anything he might synergize with a little better?
Synergize with?
I'm thinking like just of his spell list, anything that we might be missing that would make you want to not take the Night Wretch. Like, I don't know if the
You need
Ripjaw or
Arc
Death
Node.
Ripper. I know you need Arc Node.
I was playing, when I was playing only one Jack before, I was playing a 5-point Arc Node because he gives me 5 points. I think Arc Node's the type of thing where you don't look what they need to do. You look at, I'm bringing a 4-point Arc Node because I want an Arc Node. And if you come through building your list and you wind up with an extra point, you can look at making it into a Ripjaw if you think a Ripjaw's better, or a Defiler if you think a Defiler's better. But those are your only other two options, because I don't think the Death Ripper's that good. He's not awful, but I would rather have the range 6 POW 14 gun.
Yeah, it's good.
If you're playing 2 Warjacks, I think you have to take a Warwitch Siren.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, but I
don't disagree. I think that's a good call.
Especially because, I don't know, I like to not have to allocate to my Bonejack. So let me add in a couple of units, because we already have them.
You coming up with anything over there, Andrew?
Yeah, I was going to go back to if you're looking at your heavy. I'm in the camp of the Deathjack, because I like that he generates, 2 points of his own focus for himself, which is one additional casting of Mockery of Life if you need to bring back, because you can cast it more than once, can't you?
He can't cast Mockery because of control.
No, the Scarlock can't, but...
Neither can Deathjack.
No. Goreshade can, because the Deathjack generates 2 of its own focus.
It's not a focus burden on him, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But neither is the Inflictor. The Inflictor generates 1 of his own, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're wanting to play with a model that's already out, or if you want to wait till
the list we want the list to be what we want it to be, and then if the model's not out yet, we'll wait for it to come out, but we can proxy it until then.
I won't.
We won't play the list if we put an Inflictor in it, but...
I might. I have 2 Seethers. Lord knows why.
I need to shave a point.
Alright, so far I have Goreshade, Lord of Ruin, Scarlock, Inflictor, Night Wretch, Warwitch Siren, Bane Riders full, Styx's Blood Witches with the Hag.
So you still have 20 points.
I still have 20 points currently. I think if you're playing it this way, you need to go down to 18 points because you need to have 2 Machine Wraiths.
Okay,
What
well,
else?
here's what I'm looking at right now, which I know is probably different than you. I've got Scarlock, Night Wretch, Kraken, Warwitch Siren, Styx's Blood Witches max with UA, Bane Riders max, and Ghost Raiders max Blackbanes.
I'm thinking, not that that's bad, because you get the guns off of the Kraken. What if...
Because if you're already going to stationary something...
What if you play something like, since they're not being used in other lists, like Nist Hunters with them? It's just a good all-around unit.
Yeah, I agree.
They have Pathfinder, they're speed 7. They can get places on the feet turn if you need to explode them, although I need to check and make sure that's not friendly.
Occultate is friendly only. You could occultate.
They can also be Scything Touch.
That's true.
To make them
yeah.
the same thing as a knight. They actually thread a half inch further, not including Vengeance.
And they have bows, so you get to...
Yeah, it's
Be
just
annoying
friendly
strap.
for the feet, so I could pop them too.
Mhm.
And they just straight up help with attrition at that point, but they also can be, depending on what you're playing against, I mean, they can be 1,000 paper cuts against a Warcaster, or a Warlock, or one big-ass laser beam against a Warcaster, depending on what you need it to be.
And with Siphon Bolt, I mean, you get the option a lot, whichever way you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Because then I still have 8 points left, and that's with an Inflictor. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my
That
list...
starts having a lot of living models at that point, which means...
Yeah, I think if you're going to run this and Blood Witches, I think you should go with some Mechanithrals in the back. Because if your front lines start getting chewed up pretty bad, you can pop some of the Blood Witches and send in the Mechanithrals and get your auto hit POW 15s or 17s.
I still have 18 points.
I just don't know.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Cryx really to...
I can understand that.
Like, I'm sitting here looking at units like, are Soul Hunters any good? You know, like...
They're not bad. They're just
Like, do you
niche.
want them and the heavy cab, though? I don't... Because I think the Soul Hunters...
Do you have the Inflictor in there only for the shield guard, really, right now?
That was why I thought he was
Because
important.
what about just Bokuring and taking the Kraken?
I think he's also a nice heavy hitter once you get towards late game. Because he's actually kind of tanky because he's a 13-19 with the shield. So he can actually take some hits over the course of the game.
Infernal
too.
Machine him to
He's a
21
good
armor.
He's a good scenario anchor.
No, Infernal Machine's not armor.
It's not armor?
It's plus 2 mat and
it's
speed.
strength. Oh,
It's a Death Ward, I
Mat and
think, off
speed?
Scar that was armor.
oh, that's right. That's... Cause I made... that was
Yeah, it's supposed to do
Scar.
speed, mat, and terror.
That's right, yeah. Because I was looking at Scar. That's why I had armor.
And
on
since
my
he has
brain.
reach, he'll cause terror on a lot more things. But
Mm-hmm. And then it'll be mat 9.
and also running 16 inches with a heavy is bad.
No.
It's terrible.
From what I'm told.
You can
And then you
tear
can feed on it.
a lot of things. Can you?
I don't know.
I don't. Well, in that case, you could trample. What is that? 8, 11. You could trample
No,
11 inches next to their caster and then blow them up.
Warrior.
He
He's a
can,
warrior
he can
model.
only feed on warrior models, yeah.
I was
Now,
9-point pop!
they only have to be
They've
friendly.
never expected.
They only have to be friendly. They don't have to be
Yeah.
faction. So,
Right, that's what
You
we were
can-
talking about with the
Ah,
Nist
okay.
Hunters.
Yeah.
Spell Vortex.
or some Cephalix.
Trudges. I don't own those, so...
I actually was looking at the Revenant crew of the Animatrix because I was thinking, well, if he could feat on like 6 of them and then they just automatically come back to life,
Alright,
that would be amazing. But
so
it's not how it
now
works.
we're changing up, we're gonna do your... Okay, I've got 8 points left.
Mhm.
This will add in perfectly. Now don't think I'm insane, because I don't have these models.
Not saying it was aliens, but
But,
No.
it was
it's
aliens.
fucking aliens.
We already think you're insane. So let's...
Alright, so last 8 points.
8 points.
Revenant Cannon Crew, Captain Rengrave, Rad 8 Cannon Crews.
That's bold move, Cotton.
That's ghost shot, bro. Don't even need line of sight.
What's the range?
14.
Will you be able to get to their caster reliably with those?
They removed from play.
But they can't move and shoot. Please take those out.
I'm
If
sorry.
if you're going for attrition, I can understand it.
If I had...
What about Akatatal Bane Thralls? Or sorry. That would be a little...
Bile Thralls?
Sorry, I meant Bile Thralls.
They're okay, but I don't feel like that list needs it.
Probably not with the feed. It'd be like counter synergy. You have 2 things. What's the point of making things stationary if you're just going to auto hit it? It does help you versus the dude spam lists.
Yeah.
Because you're already killing some of your own models if you're feeding on their important stuff.
But if you're playing against a dude spam list, I think that's where you put the unit of Mechanithrals in with Surgeon, and you can kind of deal with that by adding bodies to it. Although, screw a 20-man unit of Mechanithrals with a command of 6.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I did notice that in your Daniel. I was like, you took units Mechanithrals? I was like, oh yeah, because one would explode and be like, literally the entire unit's in base with each other and it's out of command.
So
I can't ghost walk them, damn it!
tough models with tough can roll against being destroyed, right? That's
No.
no.
The order of precedence is first you're damaged, then you're
Box.
disabled,
Okay.
then you're boxed, and then you're destroyed, and then you're removed from play. Or the table, I think, is removed from the table, technically.
And you make tough after your box, and if you fail,
Tough is on disabled.
It's on disabled.
Yeah,
Okay.
boxed. So that's why it's like if target model is boxed, remove it from play. That's after tough checks.
Because I was looking at Drudges being tough, and you drop they just run forward, and he drops feet on them, and then
his feet removes from play.
No, it destroys.
It does destroy? Hold on. Revenant Crew! I thought it
Oh
removed
my
from play.
god, I didn't even think about that.
I said that earlier, but I was like, well, I don't think it works like that.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's destroyed. 100%.
Dude!
It's
Revenant
not,
Crew!
It's not anti-synergistic with
Hold on.
anything.
They're only... Oh, I am looking...
They're fucking expensive.
They're speed 4. I saw that. I was like, oh, wait, that's the cannon. I was like, oh, God.
My god.
They are speed 6.
They are speed 6, yeah.
You
Oh
can't,
wow.
You
I
can't
don't-
see because it's
I don't own
radio,
them.
but I'm staring at him with dead eyes.
I don't own them.
Well, yeah, because of a Deathbound. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, so you could feed on like the entire unit, but
the leader.
You can feed on models out of formation, right? Because
Yeah, it's not targeting.
Yeah, they just have to be in his
You just
control.
select
area.
models
You
in
move them
control.
up. You declare a run. 9 models run 12 inches forward. The leader runs 12 inches back. You're like, goodbye. They don't have to be in formation when they die, do they?
Don't play those models?
Grunts in this unit that are destroyed while in formation.
Damn!
Return to play at the beginning
That'd be
of your next
broken
maintenance
as
phase.
shit.
Yeah.
Here's 11 free feet.
Well, yeah, because then if it wasn't for that, because then the next part is you place them within 3 inches of the unit commander, so he ran 12 inches
Right,
backwards.
so then you just reappears back there and you just run forward. Like, oh.
Well, but
I think it's still not a bad tech,
I feel
tech
like...
move.
But do they do anything? I mean,
No, they're terrible.
They're-
Especially if you don't have Rengrave.
they're generally worse than Mechanithrals for 9 points. I mean, they're 1 higher defense with the same armor, with the same mat. They do have gang.
Yeah, and they can use the guns instead of their cutlasses.
I would
Point blank. Rat 7, 2 attacks.
It would be interesting to see like 2 or 3 units of those
Matt
with
said.
like Scar. Or are they only like FA1?
Well, they're FA2.
They're FA2.
So you take 2 units of those with Scar 2 and just be like, I feed on the unit leader and then keep everything the fuck away from him. So it's like you can't like magic bolt to him and stuff and just jam the hell out of them. It's like whatever. You killed 19 models. They all come back.
You guys.
No,
you
that's
guys
but see,
know,
here's the thing. You get them up there, you get them all engaged, right? So the next turn you come back, you mockery a few more back in there, you feed them all dead, and then you activate the unit and they all come back and no, it's maintenance phase.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Did you figure that out like mid-sentence?
Yes.
like, as,
Damn!
As you were saying it, something in the back of your head said it doesn't work.
That
It
doesn't
As
work!
you're speaking, you're like, this sounds way too good to be true.
These might be played if they were good.
So since he doesn't need faction, is there anything
In Mercs,
we could pull out of Mercs, do you think?
Selena.
Well, are there any Mercs that we're not taking proper advantage of? Like, what kind of matchups are we thinking might be bad for this guy? Like, are you going to struggle with Butcher 3? Because then we could throw in Orin. That changes the matchup a lot. Gorman helps. Well, Gorman's taken. Ooh, is Corbeau living?
Is she 4 living? No.
Does she intrigue living, or is it just warrior? Oh yeah, it works on Terminus. Duh. Friendly warrior model. So you could throw in Corbeau if you're wanting to get Gorshade farther up the table on his feet turn.
Or any model that needs to get
back
3
in
inches closer to
formation.
her.
Yeah, anything.
Or to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong eye snapshot.
I actually just looked at them too.
You could feed on wrong eye. Then it's 9 points gone. Woo! Just like that.
God damn it.
That heavy could trample there though, and then not get feeded on still. But then you could feed on wrong eye and just kill them both.
That's efficiency right there.
Because the wording of Lesser Warlock is this model
he's-
is not a Warlock, so you can feed on him.
I hope that would not come up in a game.
I have no other choice.
Okay. I was
just
also
don't know.
thinking, what if you did something really janky, like they've got their caster in the back and stuff, and you're like, well, I'm just going to throw this guy at you. Like, can you throw incorporeal models? No.
You can't shield guard with incorporeal models. I think you actually can throw ghosts.
Incorporeal. This model can move through rough terrain and other obstacles without penalty. It can move through obstructions with other models if it is enough movement to pass through, including other models, including slammed, punch, or thrown models, can move through this model without effect. They have enough movement to move completely past it. The model does not count as an intervening model. This model suffers damage and effects only from magical weapons, magic attacks, animi spells, feats, animi. Immune to continuous effect. Cannot be moved by a slam. This model makes a melee range check before it is non-incorporeal for 1 round.
They
Can't be moved by a slam.
Yeah, they actually point out slam, but they don't say anything about throw.
So you take your Kraken, you Infernal Machine it, you run a guy, and then you move up the Kraken and you throw it at their caster.
Power strike it.
I would just throw it.
Yeah, you can do
But
whatever.
yeah, whichever. If there's nothing in the way, you Power Strike it. Oh no, because I think actually Power Strike is considered slam movement. Because it works like a slam.
It is a slam.
Yeah, so do that. You could pick them up and throw them. That would be really, really weird. You might catch a lot of people off guard
On
if
an
that
off
actually
note,
works.
couldn't you make Scything Touch is interesting, not amazing, but interesting on Sea Dogs.
Next year we'll play with pirates.
Lich 1 with pirates.
Lich one with pirates.
Dude, you Parasite, you Scything Touch, POW 14 gunshots, POW 12 melee attacks, not including Parasite.
Would you throw Wither Shadow in here?
Wither Shadow's okay if you're upkeeping, because that always saves him a focus. I don't think they're necessarily needed or required in anything.
No, I don't think they're required. They are a dispel, so they do help you against some of the armor upkeeps a little bit if you needed it.
Super short range dispel. It's
It
usually only really useful on like Winter Guard infantry or something that's coming at you that gets close, but maybe not close enough to kill her. Because I guess with Corbeau though, you'd be looking at Admonia moving 3, then walking 6, then dispelling 5. I mean, then it's 14 inches instead of 11. I don't know. I feel like you have to make a mistake for her to work, but she's not awful at all by any means. Because it's kind of sort of like getting 3 extra gunshots because they all have range 10 POW 12 hand cannons, and eventually they can be boostable by taking souls.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like mini pistol race. They're stealth and they have stupid stats for the most part. They're not bad. I mean, if you have 5 points, they're interesting.
Alright.
I mean, if you Scything Touch them too, they can really wreck it, Jack, and free Seethers are fun for everybody.
I moved this around a little bit. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
Scarlock, Night Wretch, Deathjack, War Witch Siren, Machine Wraith, Full Witches with Hag, Full Riders, Min Biles, Max, Nis Hunters.
You really still like the Biles in there?
I think it's worth it because it is crushing against some lists. And most people, if nothing else, they're a fire magnet. People will look at them and just try and kill them, and you'll get people digging too deep to get them when it's really not necessary. I mean, I know you can't count on like baiting people all the time, but I mean,
Because that's 5 points I would consider using in that list on the Wither Shadow Combine that we just talked about.
and that's possible. I mean, I think that Bile Thralls are underutilized because people think if you don't have Excarnate, they're garbage. And when you have Occultation, there are a lot of things that cannot deal with that. And there's stuff like, it's so easy to just walk up and corrode a whole unit of Black Dragons and then ignore them, because most of them are going to die, and the ones that don't die are going to be useless.
Yeah.
And it solves like this, like Iron Flesh Chaosies. You're just like, whatever, don't care. And you don't have to blow up all your own dudes. So it's another out for a high defense list.
Iron Flesh Chaosies, I would just say, I can't deal with you, and I'm going to kill your Warcaster.
But it gives you...
Because you have Iron Flesh and you have Chaosies, you're not very many casters, and none of them are that hardy.
Butcher has Iron.
Butcher 1.
Butcher 1.
Dead. Yeah, he is pretty hardy.
Yeah.
Xerxes
Actually,
does not have Iron Flesh.
Sorry,
Good call, though.
you're right.
And also has a hard time taking Chaosi.
He does. Irusk is pretty squishy. Sorsha 2 is kind of middle ground. She's not easy to kill, but she's not super hard to kill.
POW 12s will kill the shit
Hers
out of
is
her.
distance. Yeah, she likes to stand behind like a conquest, and she can take Orin too to make it a little bit harder. But for the most part, yeah, she's killable for sure. Butcher would be your biggest fear, which is I think actually what I like. I like Chaosies most with Butcher, but I'm not everyone. Apparently I play bad lists.
Stop it.
Everyone's nodding.
It's
Just
a
for the
fine
record.
list. I think it's better
I
than
think
playing
that
the
list-
third unit of Iron Fangs.
We'll talk about that list at some point on this cast. When I get them assembled again. Okay, so do you think this list was probably good, but switch out the Biles?
I don't know. It had to be played both ways, I guess. I just don't think the Biles are useful. I mean, you got to realize that how much X-Carnate does for that unit. It's not just it's not just the range. It's the fact that it out-threats your army, so you don't ever have to worry really that much about positioning where you're spraying. Because a lot of times, if I'm just occultating him and walking him in, I can probably minimize what I do damage-wise to my own army, but most of the time I'm willing to be doing damage to my own army.
I just feel that in a lot of lists...
I do agree that it's a fire magnet.
I think against a lot of armies, you're going to want to feat on their whole army out of convenience, and it is possible to set it up correctly to where you don't have to, because you basically just avoid like the middle. It'd work even better with an incorporeal unit, because they would obviously just ignore it. You could like run up, get your Black Banes all tied up in their unit, and just walk up and purge through it. Like, that would be really frustrating to have to deal with, because they can't get past it if they don't have ranged elements.
Or the witches on the right turn.
Yeah, that's
Although
true.
The witches usually do it one turn early to make sure they get there.
Right. So if they come into jam...
But if you can stealth them and they can't deal with that, they can save that.
A lot of armies can't deal with, I am screened and stealthed. A lot of armies can't. Other than random blast damage, which they're not great armor.
But I do like Nis. And Nis can become super painful if they're stealthed too.
Occultation or Scything Touch. Because Nis can
You
already
just
take
cycle
out
that.
heavies, yeah.
That's why you have the Scarlock.
I think this is a really good list. I do agree the Biles could swap for something. If you think that the Wither Shadow is an important toolkit, you could also...
Do you have Madeline Corbeau in there still?
No.
Oh,
You
then I don't
could
think they're that important.
throw in Min, Mechanothralls, and a Stitch Surge, but you only have one.
Yeah.
Unless you want to
I don't think Mechanothralls are that good with him just because he doesn't have any ability to fix Mat except for the feet turn. They're not awful. They're not awful.
You can return the Stitch Thralls to play, too.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty important thing that some people forget about, because that lets one unit of Surgeons survive pretty much the entire game over random blast damage.
Unless Mat 5 is killing heavies, and that's not to say Mechanothralls are actually, like, points-wise against pretty much Warjacks. There's some beasts they don't hit at all, but Warjacks in general, points-wise, they trade up against everything fantastically, because most things charging PAL 15s kill.
I agree. You also do...
And, in return, that Jack kills 2 points.
You do also have the option...
If it survives.
You can pop feet, stationary, a couple of heavies, and it's just murder them. What do you think, Andrew? Yay or nay on Biles?
On Biles?
You know what Biles do, right?
Yes, yeah, the purge.
See, because that's why I don't... The reason I don't, especially I think you'd spend those points elsewhere, is because you have the best Bile trick of all in the other list. And if you see high defense, I don't think they're going to play a list that... If they have one list that's high defense, their other list probably isn't... I can't think off the top of my head right now that their other list is actually a problem for Lich 2.
I'm not saying they need to be in here because you need the answer. When I look at the Bile Thrall
You
unit,
like to ask that question, though.
Well, partially, I think, but it is a toolbox in of itself, because you go, I made a mistake, or I didn't see something coming, or I got caught off guard because I didn't know what
They don't even need to be occultated.
And you get way behind on attrition because something happened. Like he's playing Resnick 2, you've never played against him, and you just were not expecting how hard his feet, and he blows up 2 units on one turn. It's like, it could, in theory, like, swing a trade. Like, you could kill, like, half a unit of Errants and, like, a bunch of Daughters, or, like, a whole unit of TFG or something. Like, there's a lot of things that could happen off of one Bile Thrall not getting accounted for. And I think it gives you that option for when people make those big swings in attrition. It gives you an easy option to get back and then press forward with everything else.
I really feel like if you're going to leave Bile Thralls in, maybe even more so than Wither Shadow, Madeline Corbeau in that list might be a better idea still.
That's true.
Because you really got to... I mean, the 11-inch threat just is just so static. If you can make it 14, it's that much better. I just don't know what points you have exactly, because I didn't build that exact list.
Can Butcher straight up kill Gorshade if he gets to him?
He hits like 85%, 83% of the time. Wait.
He's a 14.
72.
Yeah, 14, 17.
No, 86% of the time, I think.
83.
Okay, so it's right up
You're
before.
really close.
He hits 83% of the time, and if Gorshade camps to the max...
Be a 24?
He could be a 25, if you really want to get stupid technical, but
Wait.
he's most likely going to be a 24.
Dar Race not in Lich?
No, you can play that anywhere, and that could tank him up to 26 normally. But if you give him the spell vortex and he steals a focus, he could camp 8.
Does he still? No, he casts a spell for free, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it casts-
and that steals a focus.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so you Siphon Bolt for free on your full camp. Got you. Oh, and you could also Death Jack Siphon Bolt.
Yeah.
So you could actually camp.
You could camp 9.
Camp
And
9.
Scarlock. Camping 10.
Like they run up with like a low defense.
Unfucking killable.
That's probably honestly why he lost point of defense, because you could cast 3 free spells effectively and get him to camp 10.
Dude, that's the new list. Cut this out of the podcast.
Needs to be deleted.
Well,
It's too good.
yeah,
He's gonna camp for 1 turn with 10 focus and Dare Ray standing behind him.
Spell Vortex isn't where he can cast 1 spell per spell that was cast in his control.
No,
It's
that'd
one
be
time.
stupid.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, you're playing Ron, are you?
Oh, you're playing High Reclaimer. Well, that's a good game.
No, Ron, yeah.
Ron.
Or-
No, because all the mittens would just give
That's
you
true.
freaking spell vortexes, and you'd be like, game over, sir. I cast 36 free spells this turn. And
That's if you're
I
still
kill
alive.
your army with
That's
this
if you're
caster.
still alive.
With this caster, I killed your army. I didn't even go for your
As long
caster.
as those 36 spells didn't all, go after Gorshade and end up killing him.
So I was thinking for 5 points, maybe throw in Orin to help prevent from the crazy butcherness. Because Butcher 3 under full camp is still hard to kill, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, but you can strip all of it.
You can, but does he die in the process?
No, you have to have other things to do.
5 points, so I'm thinking
This
Madeline.
is where you need Eris 2. I mean, come on.
Do you feel...
Or Eris 1, sorry.
He doesn't have a gun, does he? Gorshade doesn't.
No, he's got a range 10 power 12 spell.
But he doesn't have a gun, right?
Oh,
No.
Making sure.
he's got a mount attack and a power 15
You
sword.
could throw Reinhold in to lucky him, so that way if you miss one of the Siphon Bolts, you can just hard reroll it. Or not reroll, but you get an extra die to it, so it's easier
Does
to
he
hit
work
with
for
one of them.
Cryx? I don't believe he does.
You know what?
I
actually just assumed he did.
Pretty sure he
I-
doesn't
yeah.
because
No,
I
I
was
didn't see
I
him on
really
the
wanted to
list.
play Terminus with reload with a spray
Ooh,
10.
what about Ragman?
Doesn't work.
I think Ragman's useful in here.
You can take Ragman, but he's useful, but
Do you think he's needed at all?
no.
Could throw in a Boker at this point. 3 points is a nice, easy way to round out a 5.
3 points if you don't have a shield guard. He can just stay in the back and it's only 3 points you're giving up. Client him to your caster and...
You can also sit like Selena next to him and stuff. Like there's all kinds of important single models in this list you don't want to lose.
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
the
I think
so. I think it's fine to throw him in
for sure, because if only for the people playing Iris,
hmm
you cannot have that happen.
Yeah. So we're down to I think Madeline and Orin Midwinter as your last 2 points, unless there's something I missed. Like you want a second Warwitch Siren?
No.
No.
I don't think he
Especially if Death Jack's your other Jack.
Yeah, because he focuses himself.
So what do you think, Madeline? I think Madeline probably has more overall use, and Orin is more of a.
Are the
I don't wanna
Biothralls
lose.
still in?
No, wait, I dropped them for those 5 points. So are Biothralls better than a Boker and Madeline?
No, not necessarily. I'm just trying to think of what you really use Madeline for at that point.
I think it extends the threat range on your assassination, because if he can just get there and attack their caster, it changes the math a lot, because he's got, POW 15 weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he can spell Vortex Scything Touch or have the
Right.
Scarlock go first and do that.
Yeah, just have anything get to them. You cite, it was
POW 17s.
run your Machine Wraith in, feet, Scarlock throws Scything Touch on you, you get auto-hitting POW 17s, or you just hit your MAT 10 charge, MAT 9 charge attack, because your weapon auto-stationaries as well, and then you just say, I cast Siphon Bolt this many times, and then I kill you with my last 2 attacks at POW 17. I think having Madeline in there, I would argue Madeline much harder than I would argue the Boker, and I think Boker's fine.
Yeah, you can play Madeline. And there's living models in there for her to
There's
suck
plenty
her
to sucker
too. Maybe. So Boker survives shots?
He's like infinite shield guards with the Boker. He's a 17 with 8 boxes.
Not really.
Yeah, he doesn't survive too well.
Because is it damage against her still when you suck her?
No,
Is
it's
damage
hit.
rolled?
It's-
Okay,
it's
so
like shield guard.
it's shield guarding the hit. Okay.
Yeah, that's literally all you could, and everything else would just die, because it's literally the Nis.
But you could just stealth Orin and send him in.
Actually, you know what? Something I'm not super happy about is the only target for Valkyrie is the Bane Riders. Everything else is actually living.
Yep.
So how do you feel about this?
Is that really that bad?
No, it's not.
I don't think there's a whole
I
lot
don't
of
think-
other
I mean,
targets you want.
Yeah, I feel if Tartarus is taken 100%.
I think any other thing is too easy to remove. Armor 18 at least makes it, I have to put a semi-valuable shot to kill this.
I think if you dedicated Gorshade to being your primary that got the characters he wants, then I think the list does change drastically. I think you throw in Knights and Tartarus, and maybe even a Min-Thrall unit, because I think the amount of recursion you could put in there between Tartarus, the mat buffs, and then Mockery, it would make it worth it.
You can't Mockery Bile Thralls, can you?
Yeah,
You
they're
can.
undead.
Right,
So if they pick some off at random,
But Mockery says
forfeit action.
a model that was destroyed, and when the
Oh, no,
Bile
when they
Thralls
purge,
You're
no,
removed
okay.
from play.
Okay.
It's only if they
But
pick them off.
You
the
can
land.
use, like, if they try to gun them down on the way there, then you can keep
Right.
bringing one back. Or
Yeah,
more.
so you could stealth them if they get lucky and like pick them off with blast damage, or like a gun mage gets range on one of them or something. You can Mockery those back and keep them moving, or kill them yourself and then Mockery them back. I don't know why, because they can't attack. So.
No.
Mockery is literally like the what Excarnate should read.
Yeah.
Okay, so currently the list.
So,
is...
but don't you okay? Never
Revenant
mind.
Crew, right? Revenant Crew.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
it works.
I don't
Jax is
either.
looking serious
I was
now.
thinking about if you promote. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. Never mind.
Okay.
It doesn't work.
All right.
What is it a Biothal thing with?
Yeah, it won't work. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Gorshade, Lord of Ruin, Scarlock, Night Wretch, Death Jack, Warwitch Siren, Machine Wraith, Ogre Invoker, Madeline Corbeau, full Statixis Witches with Blood Hag, full Bane Riders, full Nis Hunters. So you've got 2 10-man units, a 5-man cav, and then 4 solos, 2 jacks. The only thing I feel is that you might want another Arc Node, because he does like arcing, but he's so mobile that he can kind of live without it.
Until you end up an eighth of an inch short of
Yeah.
Sloan.
Yeah.
I thought he'd kill me much easier than he did.
thought he would, too.
It took luck for him to win.
What was it? Did he hit you with like crit knockdown on Rowdy or something?
No,
Or
he just
something spiked a roll.
yeah.
Was it a damage
It
roll?
was Sloan.
Oh, Sloan just rolled like 665 on damage, and you're like,
Yeah,
all right, well, this
he
is.
was armor 23, and she just did like 9 damage with a gunshot.
Jeez.
Had dice minus like 11.
So you didn't do 34 damage with a single gunshot?
No.
That was like the greatest day of my life when that happened. Anyway, what do you think? Anything you would change?
I don't own Death Jack.
Not true.
Might as well not.
It's being painted.
Is that the one you converted?
Yeah. Scott Whitebread's supposed to be painting it. If he ever gets off his ass and paints it.
Honky Toast.
Honk Toast. What? That's his forum name. Don't look at me like that.
I mean, I would play that list.
It looks fun to play too.
I like Nis. And
I think you should not
What
play.
do you
Can we
not
take the
have
NIS out
Pathfinder?
because I want to give you the NIS back.
but they're my Nis.
I know.
Maybe you should buy
Let's put
some.
in boom howlers. They'd probably do the same.
Red 4!
Well,
Doesn't
no.
matter when they're frozen.
Boom! Feat's all about sacrificing 20 models of my army just so the 10 boom howlers can hit you with their Pow 12 guns.
God, I need a ranking officer. Damn it.
For what? Oh, like Valachev? So they can get Zephyr? It's kind of good.
Fuck. They don't even need Zephyr, man.
They don't. It's
Like, if you could get a ranking officer, like, Scar 2's back on the board because you're playing Nis Hunters and they're freaking black spot murdering every fucking unit in the game.
yeah, that makes
You're like, Dougal McNeil, mini feet, and then you're like, doop, doop, doop. Well, we're at 8 on this unit, so we kill everything in that, and we take shots over here to kill everything in this unit.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. So it is faction only on
Yeah, it's faction on the
If
extra
it
attack.
wasn't, like if you did a team tournament, oh my god, you could make that so not fair. Like Black Spot and Gun Mages with Dead Eye. Just be like,
Oh.
like one Gun Mage kills like 10 dudes. And you're like, alright, next Gun Mage. Dead.
You could do long gunners and aim and 2-man CRAs with snipe and Deadeye, so they switch back and forth with the CRAs and just gain shots, and you'd just be like,
So you could be like, alright, well,
you'd get
the Golem Gunners are going to activate.
you'd get 20 shots out of 2-man CRAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 40 shots individually.
They got to hit, man. This way you get 3 dice to hit with every single one at rat 7.
Aiming, they're effectively rat 9.
It's true.
It's pretty good. How about just Kane on feet turn?
What?
Kane on feet. His feet is shoot everything. So he's like, everything!
No,
and
that-
then 10 more!
Yeah, that wasn't a what, like, what
I
are you
don't-
talking about? That was a
I don't
what,
know if
like,
that would
what-
affect
what-
his
what-
feet.
What just happened?
It's a range attack. Does it say...
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
any
say
attack.
normal attack,
It's
yeah.
any attack.
Yes, that'd work. That'd be so retarded. Good thing Signar doesn't have black spot, or else he'd be like, kill
The
everything,
only-
and then
the
shoot
only-
that Jack 11 times, go.
The only thing that you have to pay attention to with black spot is if it's a melee attack, it generates a melee attack, and if it's a ranged attack, it generates a ranged attack.
Is that
So
a new
like,
Reddit, or has that always been
no,
that
it's
way?
always been that way.
Okay.
So like, even with the Kraken, if he uses his kill shot at the black spotted unit,
Hey,
it
guess
generates another melee attack. No, actually, it doesn't generate off that, and it wouldn't anyways though, because I'm pretty
You lost me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that doesn't work anyways, because I think because kill shot's a generated attack, it can't generate another attack
can.
anyways.
You can't generate 2 attacks off of 1 attack.
Okay, so kill shot can generate an attack. Okay, then that is right. What I was
But
saying.
the melee attack
you
that
can't-
generates kill shot cannot generate an attack from black spot.
Well, because kill shot is generated by a melee attack, even though it's a ranged attack itself, it generates another
you
melee
can gain
attack.
infinite attacks. You cannot gain multiple attacks from a single attack off of 1 trigger.
Well, black spot attacks don't gain attacks.
Right. Well, but so
But
you
kill
walk
shot-
up, charge attack, you kill.
Well, I'm
a
saying the
black
kill
spot.
shot kills something that's black spotted. You gain a melee attack from it.
This is like official, like a referee whistle.
Yeah, because like when you read how black spot's worded, it's a little vague. It just says that if you destroy one or more affected models with a melee or ranged attack, immediately after the attack is resolved, it can make 1 additional melee or ranged attack, regardless of rate of fire. So it doesn't say like if
It's
you make
definitely like been errated or FAQ'd or something at some
it would
point.
have to have been.
Where did you get this? Is off forums?
Forms.
Okay, I believe you. But
Anyways,
I'm gonna have to read it later.
It
to
could be
understand
wrong.
Yeah.
Who knows? I haven't read it in years. I haven't played this game for that long.
I feel bad sometimes because I don't go to the normal forums because I'm tired of dumbasses. They're
Forum
like,
trolls.
so if I cast, this is literally from the forums, if I cast Playing God on a Carnivian, his bite becomes an open fist attack. So that means I can 3-handed throw, right?
What?
And I was just like,
Is
what?
that three dice to throw automatically?
I was like, what? That's, it's like, how can you assume? It's like a new rule. Like, no, what is, are you retarded?
Is that an automatic extra dice to hit or something?
I don't know. So,
It's 3 dice on the
so
contested
the next guy
roll.
down is like, that's not correct. It would only be a 2-handed throw because there's no such thing as a 3-handed throw. And then the next one down is an infernal, and he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you so stupid? And basically, he said it nicer than that, but he's just like, if you can explain to me what page in the rulebook the 3-handed throw rules are on, I will totally let you do it. And by the way, the guy before me was correct. It was pretty funny.
So then did he come back and post where the 3-handed throw rules were?
No, he locked the thread. The infernal did.
Well, he didn't give him a chance to
No,
respond.
he gave him the chance from the time he clicked post and then clicked lock. He missed his opportunity.
What an asshole.
You're more rapid refreshing.
Yeah. Damn it, I missed it. Alright. So what do you think about this list?
I like it.
You like it? Like, you think you should play it, or you think we should yet dojo another list?
I think we can do another list another time.
Alright, fair enough.
I think that's a pretty good one, though.
Okay, so now what we are going to do is, now that we've finished our lists, we should probably run through it one final time, just to clarify. We have Gorshade 3, Lord of Ruin, Scarlock Thrall, Night Wretch, Deathjack, Warwitch Siren, Machine Wraith, Ogren Bokur, Madeline Corbeau, full Satixis Blood Witches, with Hag, full Bane Riders, and full Mist Hunters. Okay, so we're going to go through a lot of the common matchups we think you'll see in the current meta, and we'll say good, bad, or playable depending on how we think the matchup favors us. Bad doesn't mean you ought to lose, good doesn't mean you ought to win, so forth and so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Haley 2, Signar. Playable.
Maybe playable. I think it's slightly towards the bad side,
I do.
personally.
So playable means that it doesn't
looking at a
favor
50-50.
either person more than like 10%. So like 60-40 is maybe the most you'd see in a playable matchup. It's still easily going to come down to who's better with their
Right.
list.
I was going to say skill is a
Bad
big factor
matchup
with playable matchups.
Would be anything beyond that. So like a 60 or 70-30 would be at the point where like, all right, you really need to dig yourself out of a hole.
You're going to have to be on top of your A game and hope your opponent's not on his.
You're really mostly looking for mistakes. It's hard
Yeah.
to dig yourself out of a hole with simply playing good. You really need a mistake to counter.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've established that, and a good matchup is like, don't be asleep, you win. Not really, but so I said playable. I do think it's on the far bad side of playable if it is in the playable range. Andrew, what'd you say?
I put bad.
Bad. Okay. So we're gonna do straight up voting on this. We have bad because we had 2 bads to 1 playable. Kane 2, Signar.
I think that's bad.
Bad.
Bad. Now that we've established
Although-
that is bad.
He doesn't have... Yeah, he does. He does have an Alpha Stealth.
He has now for stealth. I don't think this
On
is...
himself.
This is probably on the okay side of playable, but I don't see the Kane player has to make the mistake of leaving himself too close to a model that can run and blow up on him and make him stationary. If that happens, the game ends.
Yeah.
The odds of that happening are pretty low, because, once again, don't be asleep, you win the game. That's the Kane player's job.
Kill box, you're almost always in threat of a model.
Yep, that's true. Although, he's got a lot of lateral movement, too. Oh, anyway, we think it's bad, because he can do pretty good work. Siege.
Bad.
Bad.
I don't like that at all.
He's gonna
I
blast the crap out of you.
I put this back with the Haley matchup. I don't think that it's unwinnable, but...
Well,
the
here's
problem
my
if
problem.
he knows what to go for, he will remove so much of your important
The
pieces.
biggest problem with Siege is he's not very assassinatable.
He's not easy to kill, but
Because your dice minus 7 to him not camping.
he's 13-17, right? 14-17?
13, he's like
He's not
14,
17.
16, I believe.
I think he's a 14-17.
I thought he was only 19.
Because when you Arcane Shield him, I'm pretty sure he's a 20.
I thought he was 19, but maybe not.
Yeah, just go ahead and throw it.
I'll pull it up real
Checks.
fast.
Maybe he's 20, but even if he's 20, he's even worse than I just said.
Card Library, Signar. Where is he?
I'm pretty sure he's a 14. Because a 14-16 is a shitty stat line. Pretty sure
There
he's
he is.
14-17.
He is
Probably.
14-17.
Yeah. So even worse than I just said. I thought it was bad when he only had 19 armor.
Arcane Shielded. Alright, so I said bad. I do think it's close to playable. Cryx, Lich 2, bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, there's way too many living models in this list.
Yeah. Cryx, Denny 1, I said bad.
I agree.
Bad.
Bad. Alright, well, we're getting all the good lists and we're just throwing them down. Gorshade 3, playable!
I said bad. No,
Playable.
but it's really playable.
Yeah, I wrote bad,
You
too.
can't not.
Yeah, it's impossible for a mirror match to be a bad, but unless you're running some weird skew or tier list that you shouldn't play. Go tier list. Kador, Butcher 3, I said
Playable.
good.
I put playable.
I think as long as you can deny him the assassination, you win the game. I don't think he has a long game other than kill you, which you have an equal threat of killing him the whole time. That was my argument. You guys said playable. Moving on. Source Show 1, bad.
Bad.
You have to say it.
Terrible.
Okay.
Terra
Bad.
bad.
I don't think it's that bad, but it's more that the list she's going to play is also going to counter your attrition game. I think that's where it gets terrible. It's not just the fact that she is Sorsha. You could run a list with Sorsha that would lose to this list. But... Okay, moving on.
With 2 conquests.
Menoth, Krios 1. I said good.
Do you think so?
The reason I think it's good is because to actually be useful in the game at all, he has to get into dying range.
He does have to get right up there.
And they do have magical attacks to get rid of your Machine Wraith or whatever you happen to have that's incorporeal that turn. But on the whole, he has to come forward to feat. If they don't have the book or you manage to get rid of it at that point for no spells or no stationary, he can easily die.
There's a qualifier in there of if he doesn't have the book.
Or you've killed it.
Okay? Or you've killed it. You have Nis Hunters, you can kill the book at range. If that's your soul, if you're like, I have to stationary him to win, which you don't, he's a defense 14 caster. It's like you could just, well, I guess we didn't take the Wither Shadow, but I was gonna say you could puppet string shells and just roll 7s, or you used to roll 7s. Like that's what happened when I played that one guy. It's like as long as you hit the first 2 or 3 7s, the
Well,
dice match changes.
You only have to hit the first 7.
Well, if you're talking about the melee attack,
Yeah.
if you
Oh, yeah.
get Gorshade to Krios, the game ends.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But
PAL 17 auto stationary.
yeah.
Yes.
You boost a hit and declare I win. Dice plus 2 does damage.
I'm at 9. I don't need to boost it.
Well,
You probably still don't boost a hit, but it's.
You actually you probably do.
I think the odds of 2 7s.
It's your charge attack. You just as well take it.
Maybe. Yeah.
If you're actually getting in melee, you have powerful charge, Mat 9. You just will make sure it doesn't get fucked up.
Yeah.
so I originally had this as bad, but after you mentioned some
I
things,
do
I
think
it's
the attrition
playable.
game goes to him, and you have to play for assassination. But I think that he will literally have to stand so far away that it becomes a good matchup.
I had this as a blank matchup.
Intentionally, you left it blank.
Yeah, I wasn't
Okay.
sure.
I think I changed my mind to playable now after talking about it because of Krios having to come up like you know.
I do agree. If the book enters the argument, it goes to at least playable. If the book is in the other list, which it commonly will be with Harvey, then I think it goes to a good matchup. My thoughts. I don't think it's a crushing victory at all, but I think it favors you if there's no book. It's your decision.
Yeah.
You said playable, I said good. It's your call. You're the tiebreaker.
I would only say playable because
Okay.
the book can be there.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't disagree with your thought, though.
Yeah. Fiora 2.
I think that's just playable because that list doesn't bring an enormous amount of armor cracking.
I said playable as
I
well.
did too.
It's not what you're gonna drop. You're gonna drop Lich in that pairing. So playable. Harbinger, I put bad.
Bad.
She will always have a devout, and she will 90% of the time
Will she always
the book.
have the devout?
She will always have a devout. Which is funny because every time I've ever played against Harbinger in a tournament, she has not had a devout. But she will always have a devout. The list we would be planning for has a devout because we're planning for the net list because that's the most common.
Well, whatever, you guys have already decided.
I think that 75% of the time she'll have the book, and 98% of the time she'll have a devout. And both of those things are bad, because she can keep the book alive indefinitely. When you're looking as like, alright, Gorshade's going to try and stationary me, and then spell me to death, you're like, I just martyred the book. Watch me roll D3s all day. Like, she has to keep it alive. And she can. I think that's really bad.
And then she gets Wazer rifled by Nissa.
You said bad?
Yeah, I said
Okay.
bad.
What did you say, Max?
I actually wrote down good, but I don't think it is.
Well,
I
that's
think
why
it's
we
more
talk about
playable, personally, but
it. It is playable, but you have to find some way to get the devout away from her to where, or get rid of it or something.
nobody plays Harbinger. Or, well, around here.
True. I mean, a lot of it is what you've seen is going to determine your opinion. Converge of Cirrus, Mother. I said good.
I also said good.
I said good.
She sucks. Don't play her. Just kidding. Father Lucant, playable.
That's what I put. Playable.
Playable.
I don't
He's
think it's
a
what you're
tough-
going to drop, so I don't think that's really relevant, because if you see Convergence, you're probably going to drop Lich.
No, but just Father's a slightly tougher nut to crack than most guys.
Mercenaries. Captain, Bartolo, Montador, Broadside,
Bad.
I said
Bard.
bad.
I said
I
bad.
said good.
Ooh.
I play Bard,
Let's hear it.
and this list would scare me.
You don't think Bart's Galleon blows everything that's not occultated
You kill a
off
lot
the
of
board?
this stuff, but
But this list doesn't kill Bart's Galleon back, is my
I
problem.
think it does. Okay, so it's arm 22. The feet turn obviously blows, but he can't move that far up because, once again, you're playing. He has no answer for Machine Wraith other than if he has Ion Hold the list, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. He has to magic weapon something that can shoot it from that far away.
I would just stealth that in that matchup.
Then he's literally screwed if he doesn't kill it. Well, he could just kill it with blast damage because he's going to have
It's
artillerist.
only 1 health.
Oh, is it really? I thought I had 5 boxes.
No,
No.
It's a one-hit point wonder.
I think 90% of this game is if he has Ion and Hold. Because if the witches can jam and get in on him with their incorporeal turn, I think it changes a lot.
What if the Bane Rider's toast?
The what? Bane Rider's toast? I'm confused.
Jam on my toast.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm getting tired here.
Anyway, moving on. So Bart, I put good because I think Bart actually has to be scared because he actually spends a lot of his stack in this list. The list I have pictured in my head is the list I'm planning on playing, which is currently.
What's
being
his
painted.
armor?
Bart's armor with Batten. It's more about his defense.
What's his armor?
He'll go to 15, 16 goes to a 13, 19. He'll probably camp 1 or 2. So he's Siege with Arcane Shield and less. He's worse than Siege with Arcane Shield and no focus.
If he camps 2, he'd be armor 21.
Yeah, but he's a 13 versus a 14, which makes it very liable to hit him and get the focus off of him, which drops his armor back down to a 19. He is immune to knockdown while that's on, though, which you don't care about really.
No.
At all.
That's my argument. I think it's a good matchup because you can basically kill Bart and you have the ability to kill the Galleon. Because all you gotta do is keep one Bane Rider alive, and you don't really care if they're
What's
out
in
of
the rest
formation.
of the list? Are we talking about single
Sorry,
Galleon
I
or
was gonna
double
talk about
Galleon?
Single Galleon, Nomad, Vanguard, Nis Hunters, and Gun Mages with Officer. That's pretty much the list.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay, it's probably not a good matchup. I do see your guys' side of the point. I think it's at least playable. I don't think you line up and go, oh shit, I can't play this. I think that you're going to drop Lich regardless, though. So you guys said that.
Mm-hmm.
Gorton, I put playable. 'cause
Me, 3.
I don't think Gorton will ever threaten Gorshade.
I originally had bad, and while we were doing this, you reminded me of just how slow Gordon really is. So
Well, you're irrelevant because we both said play.
that's true. Yeah, I'm the odd man out on that one.
Sexalon Thexus.
Good.
Good.
I put G
G
for
good.
girl.
Turns out that 14-14 is easy to kill.
With 14 boxes.
I don't know enough about him to know if his board control would stop you from killing him. Because he doesn't actually drop your speed, so he doesn't keep the Machine Wraith from just running and getting in.
what's it gonna get?
Do they have...
He's still only a 14
I'm
anyways.
trying to think if they can kill him. Yeah, he's still only a 14 anyway, and he's arm 14. He just dies.
Yeah.
It
You
only
can't
works on
sack
ranged
pawn
attacks.
spells.
Yeah, you can't sack pawn spells.
Yeah.
And it works on hit anyway. I don't know if that works if you shunt hit. Yeah, it'd probably just hit the jack. I don't know. It's weird. I still think it's good. I think it's too hard to keep that bastard alive when stationary's on the table. Assyria, bad.
I think it's playable.
Oh,
16, 13.
I think the
You
combination...
just talked about bad stats being
That's true. She
a big
plays
deal.
farther back. She can play from farther back than Krios can.
Krios.
That's what my argument was earlier, was that Krios would have to move so far forward to impact the game. She
I
can
was
sit
talking
on
about
the...
excellent Texas.
Oh. No, he's a 14. She's a 16.
13.
But she's not going to get stationary by you, I don't think.
He's also Fury or Focus 8.
What?
They're both Focus 8. They're
Yeah.
both the same control.
But
His
he's
feet
got a bunch
doesn't
of
have
speed
to
5
affect
dudes.
everything in your army.
It's true. But her feet gives true sight, and she's got plenty of magical guns with her, which she's going to have a battle group.
Yeah.
So I think she kills everything that will ever get close to her. Unless you think Gorshe can one-man through her whole army and kill her.
I don't know. I think it comes down to
I think-
attrition at a certain point, and I don't think the fact that she literally does nothing for the army, and I think, I don't know, it's really an irrelevant point, because if it's pretty much retribution, you pretty much pick Lich 2.
You think so? I'm not versed in the matchup at all, so I don't
Yeah.
know. You're talking
They
over
want
me
to
at
play
this-
a lot of dudes, and what is Lich
Yeah.
like? A lot of dudes.
You don't think they could pick
Except
out
for-
the Bile Thralls?
Maybe Ravens, Sniped, Strike Force.
Maybe. I don't know. What'd you say? You said playable? You said...
Playable.
Okay. I'll go with playable. 16-13 is not a strong stat line. Viros 2.
You need to hit her like 3 times to get her.
I put playable in Virus.
I guess at that point, once she's cast a spell, if something's cast a spell in his control area, you could basically just charge something and then just cast like 3 fully boosted spells at her or something. What'd that put you at? You'd have 7, 1 for free, drops you to 5.
Unless she's able to get like blinding light on you, then you can't cast spells.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, Virus 2, sorry. I said playable.
I said playable.
I said playable.
That sounds playable to me.
Yeah.
Ossian.
I said playable.
I said good.
I said good.
It
When I
probably is good, but
When I
don't,
said
I'm,
good, yeah.
I'm wary to put things in the good.
Mm-hmm. I just... What's his stat line? He's a
15, 15.
15-15. No stealth, right?
No stealth.
Nothing crazy defensive about him. He is focus 7.
7. He has to get up in there because
He
it
does
has
have
to
to get
affect
up there,
you
yeah.
to get the feed on you. But
He doesn't have anything that like helps his army ignore stealth or anything, right? Because I don't think the mage hunters will be able to kill the knights.
that would be the thing that you'd do, is you'd probably just stealth Gorshade, run at him.
Probably.
It depends, Any retribution list can obviously have an Eris in them, and then Erises complicate situations. But that's one of the reasons you have the Bokur in there.
Yeah. What did you say again?
I said good, actually.
Good. I put good as well. This is one that probably goes either way pretty easily, though. Morvana 2. I put playable.
I put playable.
I also put playable.
Okay. Though I wanted to say good because she is easy to kill if you can get to her, but it's so fucking hard to get her nailed down somewhere.
As a circle player, I wanted to say bad, but I couldn't.
I do think it is playable. Chromac.
Also,
Sorry.
you don't even have to go for killing her. You can go for popping 2 models and killing the 20 points worth of stalkers she has.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's why this next list, I'm pretty sure that everyone's going to say the same thing. Chromac, good.
good.
I put playable, but that's just because I have a hard time going into the you should definitely win this 80% of the time matchup, but I thought it was a good matchup.
Well, good just
overall.
means it's like a 70-30, which is a pretty favored matchup. But
I think he can easily kill anything he wants to yo-yo at you.
Mhm.
So you do that, and then he doesn't
Yeah.
have much left going for him.
the list should be fast enough. And
Well, my thought is if he's beastling you,
you
clear
just
the lane and charge him.
Yeah,
or just siphon bolt the wolf to death.
Bestial.
you can't cast the siphon
14
bolt into
inches.
bestial.
Can you not arc?
Cannot arc.
See, I'm used to things just saying no spells.
But he's speed 8. He charges 11. He reaches 13 inches. So basically, if you're inside that bubble, you can pretty much get to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I actually think it's probably I totally forgot about bestial. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just thinking defense 14 heavies and the yo-yoing. You said what?
I said good, but
Do you still agree?
I think bestial does make it playable. I think it takes it out of the good realm to the playable realm. You're not looking at like
He's gonna alpha you, but I just don't think he takes
I'm just curious.
enough out. Because I mean, You consider
Well, the
Deathjack rapes one heavy,
Mhm.
and the rest of your army.
Can you actually get to him without like trading down? That's what
I think he
Well,
trades
actually,
down
you know what?
all the time.
The writers probably because his max return is 9.
yeah.
And that's only if he's warpathing away. If
If
he's
you-
warpathing for threat range,
If you screen the Bane Riders correctly, I think the Bane Riders just murder the wolves.
yeah, because they literally do dice damage to him.
Yeah, and they're Mat 9. They're gonna hit on
Mat 10.
5s. Sorry, Mat 10.
Yeah, hit on 4s.
Curse charge. Yeah.
And
You
the
sighting
mount
touch 'em,
attacks,
yeah.
the mount attacks are POW 14 Mat 8s.
It takes like seriously two if one hits an impact attack.
Which
Yeah.
he should, because they're 75% impacts.
Yeah, I'm leaving that good. I think that's a good match for you. Kruger 2, I put playable, but I'm not actually sure.
I'm honestly not sure, but I also put playable.
I put playable.
The thing is,
well.
casters like Kruger 2
He put scenario big time at play, but I don't think he has a super good way of killing Gorshade if he camps.
I don't disagree. I don't feel like you're in danger. It's just casters like that, like you saw it in the Masters finals. The skill with that caster, it's more about how well it's like Haley too. It's not really about which of you is better. It's like how good is he at his caster, because I feel like that just determines the game. Kind of like Morvana 2. It's like a really, really good Morvana 2 player is on a different level than a really, really good Denny 1 player, I feel. She's obviously amazing. They're both amazing casters. They have very powerful effects, but there's more chance for mistake with her abilities, but because of that, it puts it into another realm. Mobility mobility and placement is the most important thing in the game, and casters that can mess with that, like Haley's, is like all the movement shit she can do, and like Kruger, all the pushing shit around and everything, really changes the way the game works. So, I don't know. I still think it's playable. He is pretty squishy. Normally he plays a little bit farther forward because of Stormwall, but he won't against you. I don't know. I'm going to put play after I talk for a while. Does everyone agree with playable still?
I do.
Veil 2 from Legion. She's immune to cold, I hear.
Yeah, I put bad for that.
I put playable because she's still only a 15-14. And if you force her to camp to not die to Siphon Bolts, you're kind of, I don't know, forcing
You
her to
actually
not
want
force a
them
lot.
to camp, especially warlocks. You want them to have.
Well, but-
if you're going for the assassination,
Right.
you'd rather have them be on like 3 than not have anything, because you steal 2 of those.
Well, you had
She transfers once. That literally gets you an extra.
You'd
siphon
rather
bolt.
her be on 3 than 2, but I think you still rather her just be on 1.
on 1.
Yeah,
But
1 is ideal.
1 is the most ideal,
Yeah.
probably. But her armor stat never gets any better.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason I said that, but also against like
I also
Angels.
realize she's a 16-15 because she plays in Legion, right?
Right.
Okay, checking. It's a terrible stat.
It's all right, but against Horde specifically, you can against most armies, except for maybe some conditioning, you can siphon bolt their beasts and just get free boosts out of it, and that helps the attrition a lot when you can just put like 3 boosted POW 12s on an Angel out of nowhere. All right, I put playable. Andrew,
I had put bad.
Mac.
I also put bad. I don't think it's. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna put bad because you guys said it in your bad.
It's fine.
Saren, I
Oh.
said.
I don't like my feet not
I said
working.
good for Saren.
Well, the feat still works. It just doesn't work on their one caster model. I hear stationary Angels is bad for the Angels. Anyway, that's why I said good on this next matchup, Saren,
Yeah, I said good.
I
because
said playable.
I think she literally has to win the game on her feat turn.
Right.
Because when you come in, if she comes into you, does a little bit of work, feats.
I
As-
literally have 2 G's on my whole thing, so just.
I think that's
And we've already passed
first
both of them.
world Cryx problems. I think that's what that is. I'm writing good. Fuck you.
That's a first world Cryx problem.
Yeah.
Only having 2 good matchups.
Because your other caster is just
I
going to
think-
cover
I think-
everything else.
Oh no, I can only auto stationary defense 14 heavies. Alright, Thagrosh 1. I put playable.
I also put playable.
Max says playable with the nod of the head.
But we need that 8 points for that damnation shot from the cannon, man. If that takes the last point off of the Archangel, remove from play, motherfucker.
Don't the Black Banes remove from play too? Well, I know we didn't put them in.
They do.
But,
So the Blood Witches,
do they? Oh yeah, the Death Class.
but I believe I don't know if you can do that to it.
Is it warrior model?
beast.
It's just living model, isn't it?
Oh, my phone died.
I don't fucking care.
Checking.
Is it only 10:01? No, I know it's
No.
not.
God damn, where is it? Okay, here we go. Death Strike. If this attack destroys a living model, boom, remove from play. I think it removes We should probably just read that.
Roasted.
Anyway, moving on. Hexeris 2 from Scorn. Does a lot of infantry mulching.
I said bad.
Camps fairly well if he doesn't cast Ashes to Ashes, which means he's not doing a lot of infantry mulching. He can play farther back than most Warlocks because he has Narcode.
I think you'll see him cast Ashes more than camp it because he doesn't want to get Siphon Bolted to lose
Well,
it.
but like we were saying, if he camps 5, like odd numbers rest, so if he camps 4, you hit him with a Siphon Bolt for 2, you get 1, he transfers. You hit him for a Siphon Bolt for 2, you get 1, he transfers. You still have done 0 damage to him after 2 Siphon Bolts, which effectively costs you 2 focus.
Yeah, it's 2 focus to make sure he doesn't have
It's worse than
transfers.
having no Fury, but it is better than having 5
He's
Fury.
forgetting about Spell Vortex. That shit happens.
It-
It does.
Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm not saying you can't kill him. I'm just saying that it's better to camp than not. You cannot say it's better to have
Right.
0 Fury.
But you're also going off of can Gorshade anchor this by himself?
No, I'm just talking number. Like,
Yeah,
if
just numbers.
If you do that with everybody, it's balanced, is why I'm doing it that way. Of course, if you get him stationary and you have a bunch of stuff going on, that's why the feat is good. That's why the list works. Is because you can put lots of threats on him from a distance. I'm just saying that it's not better for you if he's got 6 Fury on him. It's better for you if he has 1 Fury on him. And
It's better for you if he thinks he's safe because he has Fury
I
on
do
him.
agree with that. That it's going to make people think they're safer than they are. I put playable.
That's playable.
Oh, I had bad, so I lose.
Why are you bad, Andrew?
Because I am who I am.
Okay. Makeda 2, I put bad.
I put bad.
Playable.
I'm afraid of Mullet Karn.
That Mullet Karn missile is a thing.
Yeah. How many times have you
Karn-
played against it?
A couple times.
Malakarn is not always kill you.
No, I agree. I think Gorshade is one of the casters that could camp through it because he's not super easy to hit, but he's going to get hit on feat turn. But if he camps to a 24 dice off 9,
He has to boost all his damage rolls
yeah,
and do 17.
it's probably not no. It's
And
not
that's
super
and that's the
likely.
thing is you're also not going to give him where he got all 7 of his attacks on Gorshade unless you did something horribly wrong.
Yeah, if
he
he's
better
just-
if he gets to you, he better have sidestepped both times. And
At
then 5
least
and then
once.
5 Fury will not kill him.
Okay, so I put bad, but you said playable.
Yeah, you both said bad. That's
I
fine.
said bad.
That's fine.
I'm gonna put playable.
Yeah.
You changed me. I didn't think about that one a whole lot. I was just like, Makeda, I don't like dying. Madrak 2.
Bad.
Bad.
I put bad, but it's only because he has defensive stick that gets by all this bullshit. Grim 2, I originally put bad. I think I've actually changed my opinion to playable.
I think playable.
Oh, I had bad.
I'm going to put playable. The more I think about it, the more I think Grim 2 dies because he likes to play pretty far forward
Yeah.
for a Trollcaster. Runes of War Doomshaper 1,
Bad.
because it's always played in
Bad.
tier. I think that might be the worst possible matchup for your opponent's caster to be 13-15 and be like, I cannot kill you. Just for clarification, in case anybody doesn't know, Doomshaper 1 has Banishing Ward, so he's basically immune to spells. And he'll be behind a wall, behind a mulg, and under a stone. So, Rask from Minions. I put good/playable. I want to say good, but I'm curious. I didn't actually remember how his little interaction with like sack pawning to the frog guys work. Does he just?
It's not sack pawn.
It's not. So it works through spells.
Yes.
So if he buries dudes around him, it gets harder to kill him.
But it only works when it kills him. It's like
I think it's fine then.
he heals a point basically.
Yeah, it's like it's auto tough as long as he can get to a Bogtrog within 5.
Is it within 5 even?
It is. I know it's his command, which is 5, which is why his
is his
command is
command
so
so bad?
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why his command is
I
garbage.
didn't know his command was that bad.
Yeah. Minions get nice
I thought
things.
it was command,
Ugh.
but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure that it was.
Sorry,
I
all
didn't know
you
that it was
minion
5.
players.
So we're really talking about 3 units of Gators, a couple heavies. I think you probably are fine. The Bane Riders do pretty good work to Gators, and you should pretty much keep them on the table the whole
And
game.
nobody plays bog trucks anyways.
Well, you'll have Shamblers, that's the thing. You do have a lot of Living Miles, so have some recursion. It's probably playable.
I put playable.
I don't know if it goes to good. The Gators probably get traded up pretty hard in this matchup because you have Scything Touch. Anything in here, even the Blood Witches charging the Gators can do damage. The Nis will probably kill Gators or threaten to kill Gators on the charge because they'll be POW 11 dice off 7, but you're rolling 4 dice.
It's average 7.
Yeah, you're getting easily the realm of killing them or finishing them up with Nis Hunters. If the Bane Riders charge, they're just pretty much going to kill them. They get charges. I want to put good. What'd you say, Andrew?
I said good.
You said good.
Playable.
Anyone have a quarter?
You said both.
It doesn't
I
have a
said
quarter.
both.
You said both good and playable.
Jeremy.
Yeah, let's look to our control man over here.
Jeremy, what do you feel? Good or playable? Playable it is. Let the record show it is good. And then our write-in-your-own candidate this week for Bad Matchup of the Week. We really were looking at covering Haley 1 because it is Lich 2's worst matchup. So, does this list cover the worst matchup for your other list? Max.
I think we dropped the ball on this one.
As with always, I'm gonna go with Dodge.
But what do you think? If you
I think it's better than Lich 2.
Okay, that's a starter.
Yeah.
So it's,
Because Lich 2's feat does not exist against her.
Right?
among other things, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually put good because I think the riders can threaten this. If she takes any heavy, they can threaten it. I don't see her taking a storm wall super often because she has trouble powering it because she's basically focused 3 caster.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's such a downside to be
the
able
riders.
to beat every
The
turn.
problem is riders actually don't threaten Arcane Shield and Stormwall.
Pow 17. Dice off 5, 3 dice. They're not going to
5
murder
attacks?
it. No, they're not going to one round it, but they're going to. They can attrition against
They're
it.
gonna do 5.5 damage attack.
Yeah, so you send in 2, do some damage. It jams it out of the scenario. It makes her trapped out of the scenario zone because, one, she's threatened by assassination. She has Arcane Vortex, so you're basically never going to Siphon Bolt her, but you can guarantee she'll be on a 0 camp because she will have to spend it to not die. I think you can do acceptable attrition work because so much of this list is so fast. The Nyss are speed 7, the Blood Witches are speed 7, the Riders are speed 7, they could go to 9. You can get through that stopgap of her barrier pretty quickly. And you will threaten it because you're so fast, you'll threaten her back so far that I think you'll either win on scenario or she'll die to assassin. That's my feeling. It's
Possible.
probably more like playable.
And Deathjack might get there one day.
Deathjack, if Deathjack gets there and you get to hot swap, like
He's
Sight and
stealth.
Touch.
Pistol race. Gun mages don't do anything to him for the most
Yeah.
part. Though she does have.
As long as you stop gap him with a guy like a Siphon. A mall behind him so he doesn't get pushed back and stuff like that. Like, it's easy to put a Bane Rider behind him because gun mages don't do much to Bane Riders anyway. Just conga line guys behind him all the way back to your table edge.
The one. She's still just so good.
She's so annoying. Like, she's the most frustrating caster sometimes. I think Denny one might be the only one that's more frustrating.
It is a
I'm
headache. Yeah, I
sorry.
agree.
Fucking. Her feat's so good with her army
Mm-hmm.
at killing Cryx.
Mm-hmm. I think they made Haley 2 because they're like, God, Haley 1's really only good against Cryx. How can we fix that?
Make her good against everything.
Balance. I'm going to put playable for Haley 1.
That sounds good, yeah.
But because regardless, you're not going to play Lich 2, so it might as well be a playable matchup. All right. So that was our choices. If you have any questions, you can ask them, but we won't hear you. This has been Brandon.
Max.
Andrew?
Thank you for listening to Learn to Wargame. You can find us online at l2wg.com, Facebook, twitch.tv, YouTube, or Google+, and most importantly, l2wg.com for all of our content. Thank you. I like that you guys are talking about something we haven't mentioned yet.
What do we need to mention it for?
Because they're probably confused as to what you guys are pointing at.
Well, you're not going to use this, are you?
Jeremy, put your hands down.
What? I don't understand.
No, this always
We're
goes
not
in.
actually going to use this, are we?
No, this always goes in.
Does it?
Yeah.
God.
I think that's the only reason people might listen.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Brandon's given up on editing.
Yeah.
At all.
I don't. These timestamps
But he doesn't.
are
Do you
just-
at least put it at the end?
Yeah, it's at
Okay.
the end. So you
All
have
right.
to, and you have to listen to the music first. So I figure if you haven't turned it off by the end of the music, I have no mercy for you.
Yeah.
The timestamps just tell me what to cut and put it at the end. Fuck you! Was that into the mic?
Whatever.
I actually label this as non-explicit on Muse, so I don't know. Someone's probably gonna be surprised. Does Crippled System label them as explicit? I don't think that's actually possible. I don't think it's possible for them to get through an hour of not swearing. Yeah.
Best radio joke in the world incoming.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I really hope we literally have gotten that on every episode, because it's happened, I'm pretty sure, every week.
I've made sure to do it every single time.
Not sure about last week.
I don't remember it last week.
I think I did.
I think he did it, but we didn't say anything when he did it. He was probably asleep at the
You
time.
guys were just angry.
The Max is the best jokes.
The best.
Around.
I messed it up.
Ain't nobody ever gonna keep you down.
That's good.
All right. Live from Daikon. And by live from Daikon, we mean Daikon is currently happening roughly 4 hours from where we currently are. Don't worry, Daikon. We're coming.
You are.
You're not coming?
Be
I-
fair,
what?
we are
No.
4 hours in the future.
That's true. He's coming.
Who? Me? Him?
Okay. Yeah, both of you are coming.
No, no.
Fine. Whatever.
I'll fly over it.
Boom.
I have a savage lawn that needs mowed.
Savage Lawn.
Our
Yeah.
lawn also needs some mode if you can get on that before you leave.
Yeah,
If you're
and
not coming, we're going to need you to mow our lawn.
when we get done, it's like almost midnight. We get done. Yeah, I'll jump on the mower.
Almost
You have a push
midnight.
mower.
I got at least one flashlight. You can.
We're
semi
hammering this
borrow.
out in about 13 minutes.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Did I say we're leaving for Daikon at 4 a.m.?
Ah,
Okay.
you have to add those times together now.
All right. It was 1:25. We'll do.
Yeah, actually, it's slightly over 126. if
So are
you
we
add it
even
up.
doing
But
this
when we
anymore?
stop talking. Yeah. So now that we have the list, we go through and do this. That's why I had to write down the time,
Okay.
so I can cut this out. This will be edited. If you can hear this, I am shitty at editing. I really hope you don't hear this.
Fart joke.
Mm,
Now
Wait,
you
wait,
have to
wait.
edit that.
Hold on. I'm doing it.
What are you doing with your hands? But
The car ran real good. It's a team effort.
as Max puts it, really good radio joke.
Not want to live stream this?
Packs
You-
of stray dogs
You
rule
son of a
the
bitch.
streets of Detroit.
Packs of wild dogs controlling most of our major cities.
If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Founded by the Germans.
Poon candy.
Bing go 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 ba. Prune candy. Zigua! I got it in. It's staying in now. We're not cutting it.